Hey folks, here OS Reviews. You're watching our video unboxing and first impressions look at the Xiaomi Huami Amazfit Pace. This is commonly cited as one of the best budget smartwatches on the market. It's different from something like the Amazfit Bip, which we reviewed a few months ago because it does have a bit more functionality, and it actually runs on a modified version of Android OS. It features a 1.2 gigahertz processor, 512 megabytes of RAM, so those are pretty similar specifications to what you would find on an entry-level, maybe Android Wear smartwatch. So it does give you GPS capability, so you can use it for sports. Of course, it gives you heart rate data as well for fitness tracking and of course notifications. So like most of Xiaomi smartwatches, battery life is excellent on the Pace. It's rated at around 11 days, which is definitely longer than the average 1 day or 1.5 days you get on the Apple Watch. Other specifications include both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The screen resolution is 320 by 300, which is average. Again, it does have a fully round IPS display that's always on, and it's using a pretty interesting kind of transflective e-paper technology, which extends the battery life performance. And otherwise, it has 4 gigabytes of built-in storage, which again allows you to also store some music and other files directly on the watch. So taking a quick look at the packaging, pretty simple, and we have on the bottom here some basic specs. Again, built-in GPS, heart rate data. You can use it for sports activities and notifications and to control your music. There's quite a lot of functions on here, and there's a free app that you can download from the Play Store. The case is made out of ceramic, and it's also IP67 water resistant, so you can submerge it when you're taking a shower or going to the beach, and it should still survive. And that's it. Let's take a quick look at what we have inside this box. So the biggest question here is, at $115, is it a good purchase when the Bip is around $70? This is a more simplified version that runs on a even more watered down operating system, and it doesn't have the GPS tracking. It doesn't give you quite as much notifications. This is again more of a complete smartwatch experience. So if you want something that's more advanced, then perhaps this is the way to go. So in here we have access to the charging cradle, which uses these contact pins for it to magnetically charge, and then of course the dock connects to micro USB. It takes around 2 hours to completely charge, and under this compartment we have the aforementioned standard micro USB cable. You can also connect the watch onto a PC or a Mac to transfer files onto that 4 gigs of built-in storage, to use it as an MP3 player or as a flash drive. Finally, there's a quick start guide that kind of documents how to set it up and to download the application. Alright, so setting these things off to the side and taking a look just at the watch here. Move beautifully. You can remove this strap, which is a one-size-fit-all, and it's made out of silicone. It can be swapped out. It's just a traditional watch band. If you want to, customize it or purchase future accessories for it, you simply use these contact pins on the sides to latch it off like any other traditional watch. So on the back, you can see the charging pins, the optical heart rate sensor. It's made out of polycarbonate plastic, whereas the frame here is made out of a very shiny ceramic, which is the same material found on the Xiaomi Mi Mix flagship edgeless, bezel-less phone. So here's the display. Pretty similar to something like the Moto 360, which also has a round display, but with an edge cut off at the bottom here as part of the manufacturing process. But bezels are fairly slim, and it is made out of a tempered Corning Gorilla Glass 3 to protect it from drops, shocks, and scratches. Otherwise, you can see it's pretty beautiful. It's fairly slim, but not quite as slim as the Bip, as you can see here, just because the Bip does have a slightly smaller battery, and again, there's less hardware as well as physical chips and sensors to integrate into the body of the unit. So let's see if there's any power. There seems to be a crown key located on the side that should be used for power. Let's tap on that for a few seconds, and the watch seems to be booting for the first time. Nothing else on the other side. This might be a microphone, and that's it. So it'll give you, of course, notifications through Facebook, Twitter, WeChat, sites like that. And if you're in China, you can also use it with Alipay as a mobile payment. So maybe there's an NFC chipset built on here, but it's not super useful in the States. It does have a compass and a gyroscope as well for taking a look at what direction you're facing, in addition to being more calibrated when you are running and using the integrated GPS chipset, which can then offload the content onto your companion app and give you a more accurate reading on a map of where you've been if you're jogging or running outdoors, which is pretty useful. From here, we can see that there is a backlight on the screen, but the benefits of e-paper is that even if there's a lot of sunlight or glare, it still remains very visible. It's the same technology used in the Pebble watches, and it's not quite as contrasty as e-ink, which can be found on the Kindles, but it's basically display technology that looks better in direct sunlight when there's more light, which is pretty awesome compared to a LCD panel, for instance. Boot up time for the first time seems to be a little longer than normal, so we're going to do a jump cut. After entering your email and setting up a password to encrypt your data, you can then take a look at more personal information. So you can put in data like your name, select a gender, and then let's just say a birthday, as well as a height. So these things are all used to better calibrate the watch so that when you are walking or running, it knows how much pressure corresponds to a step, so it can give you more precise data based on your biometrics. So let's try to pair it now. So you can see there's a QR code that is on the watch watch face, and you simply scan it using the camera on your phone. And it seems to have found it. And after about 20 seconds, it should be paired. So we can tap on yes. Afterwards, it's going to ask you, do you want to wear this on your left or right hand? And you can tap on it once, and basically you're done. You're greeted to the main home screen. So from here, you can see your device, whether it's connected, the battery percentage that's left, as well as how many steps, how many calories you've burned. And you can also push new watch faces onto the watch for more customization. So for instance, we can take a look at all of these, which are preloaded, or some which are available to download from the internet. And it seems like Xiaomi has done a good job of continuously updating the watch in the months since this product was released, since it's not completely new to the market. You can see that viewing angles of the display are quite good, and it does seem fairly good in terms of resolution as well. I can tap on the crown key once to activate the display, and from here I can swipe between the various gestures, such as downwards for notifications, and then to the side if I want to look at all my sports activities. It seems quite responsive. Obviously, this is a pretty heavily customized interface, so it's not really similar to something like Android Wear, even though it's being powered by what is essentially an Android operating system with similar hardware to what you may find on an entry-level Wear watch or a entry-level smartphone. So pretty interesting. The interface here seems quite easy to navigate, not too much sluggishness, and it has this arc that shows you in terms of dots what page of the UI that you're in. So fairly sleek and responsive. Tapping on this once more, I guess, locks the display so it doesn't accidentally get triggered when I tap on it or hit it on something. So that's pretty much it as far as our hands-on unboxing and first impressions of the Xiaomi Amazfit Pace. Again, this is their flagship smartwatch at the moment, whereas the Bip is more of the entry-level kind of mid-tier watch. And of course, they have even more affordable smart bands and fitness trackers available on the market. So thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews. This has been a first look at the Huami Amazfit Pace.